Hello friends, Lakshman here. I'd like to welcome you to a quick tour of Flutter Roadmap for 2025. In the next few minutes, I'll try to cover all the common topics in Flutter from a distance, and I'll try to make this video a quick and fun one that you can sip with a cup of coffee. Now, if your coffee is ready, let's get started. We will begin with setting up Dart environment, mainly Android Studio, VS Code, Dartpad, or these days Cursor as well. But you could be just fine beginning it with Dartpad in the web. After you learn the basic of Dart, you could directly jump into building basic UI elements like stateless and stateful widgets in Material and Cupertino design, or you could learn a little bit more about Dart and then come to building the UI. After you learn the basics of stateful and stateless widgets, you will learn to make single page designs with single child, multi-child and responsive UI elements, along which will be filled with text, buttons, checkbox, input widgets like text field, dialogues, list and page views, those kind of things. And you will also learn to use colors, themes and typography as well in this stage. And after that, you'll also learn about custom paints and gestures and inputs in Flutter. Custom paints will basically be about painting things into the screen without using already provided widgets, so that you can draw your own widget into it as if you were the painter. And then you'll also learn to handle user events like touch, drag, swipe, pointer click, like hover right here, right? Those kind of things you'll learn with gesture and inputs. And then you'll learn little bit to really in depth about animation on your taste. Whatever you need, whatever is your preference, you can go to that depth in animation. Animation is literally like it is limitless. And then you'll go about state management. I would recommend picking up one, most probably Riverpod, which seems to be a simple one for me. But you could start with any one of these. I started actually with RxDart when I joined from Android land, because RX Dart and RX Kotlin used to be big thing in mobile development these days, and I could like use the skills that I developed there into RX Dart. And then after learning a little bit about state management, we will go learn about going from one screen to another and doing the animation in between, basically the inbuilt navigation and some other navigation libraries to make our life easier. And then we'll learn about local storage, where we will be storing our key value pairs, SQL data and NoSQL data into local storage, mainly using libraries like set preferences, Hive, SQLite, Aja, Objectworks and Sembast. And then we'll also learn how to serialize and deserialize data from and to JSON, and learn a little bit about caching and headers. Then after finishing local storage, we'll go about backend integration, where we will learn how to communicate with the backend. For most Flutter developers, the first backend for them is Firebase, because it is really easy to integrate within Flutter application, where you will learn basic about authentication, cloud storage, mainly file storage and real-time database. And you could also use REST APIs to communicate with the backend and use JWT authentication as well. And if you want to do some live APIs, consume live APIs, where like data will be changing constantly, you would be listening as a subscriber, you could be using WebSocket. And then after that, you will learn about platform integration, basically how Flutter is only a UI toolkit. Actually, all it does is it helps us build beautiful UIs that can be transported to any platform with single code base. But when we need to communicate with underlying platform, that is Android, iOS, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, we need to learn about those platforms and learn how to deal with the hardwares and operating system constraints provided by the operating system. We'll learn how to deal with camera, location, biometric, and media, like how do you deal with audio hardware. And then you also need to learn about push notification and local notification, background processing. Basically, operating systems provide mechanism for processing data in the background, which will be more efficient than running a large task in a Dart thread. Actually, there is isolers for that, but still it is provided by operating system, which will be, I think, powerful. And then there are Bluetooth low energy and beacons that you can connect your phones or your devices to communicate with the peripherals. And also you'll learn about little bit about method channels and third-party SDKs like OAuth, payment integration, map SDKs, analytics, and crash reporting, right? After that, we can go to advanced topics like payment integration. So there are two ways of integrating payment. One is using the operating system's own payment integration, that is for iOS it will be Apple Pay, and for Android it will be a Google Pay. For other platform payment providers, we will be using secondary libraries like RevenueCat. RevenueCat is a wrapper actually, so let's not call it a different one, but payments like Stripe and UPI, they are secondary ones. And we'll also learn about analytics and crash reporting, memory management in UI, right? Architectures like MVP, MVC, MVI, MVVM, repository pattern, clean architecture, domain driven design, those kind of things. We'll also learn about reactive programming and functional programming, how to write really well thought, well planned reactive functional programming that will handle everything, every crash, every bugs, right? And we'll also learn about, you can also learn about testing, basically UI, integration tests and unit test, and there will be golden test, test coverage, and BD testing. And you will also learn about internationalization and localization. After these advanced topic, you can also discover about cross-platform specifics. Basically, Flutter application are focused on Android and iOS, but they can also build web and desktop application with Flutter, where you will learn about various canvas kit and rendering platform. Basically, whether you render the Flutter application as HTML or a canvas, progressive web application, URL strategies, right, and JavaScript interrupts and those kind of things. And in desktop, you'll learn to deal and communicate with the underlying hardwares and processes of operating systems like Windows, Linux, and macOS. After that, you need to learn about continuous integration and delivery, where you learn about GitHub Action, Code Magic, static analysis tool, so that your code is healthy and looks good, feels good, you know, and your peers and colleagues do not yell at you looking at your ugly code. Static analysis tool helps you with that. And then you also learn about how to upload your application to App Store, Google Play Store, and send patches through Shorebird, not Shorebirds. And then after all this, you still need to get up to date with the latest technologies like machine learning, mainly TensorFlow Lite, MLKit, and you'll also need to learn integrating your own LLMs into Flutter application, because most of the clients and companies these days want to have a certain section where they can say, "Go, we have AI in our application," and they want to put this feature of communicating with LLMs. This is like kind of a famous feature these days. And you'll also need to learn about how to make offline first application, and sync adapters and CRDD, obviously. And these are not all, as you know. I might have forgotten some topic. There would be new things emerging tomorrow, so you need to keep learning and keep sharing in the community. Wish you good luck.